welcome back to the Strange Noise Podcast, everybody.
Hello.
What's up, everybody?
How's it going?
Shitty.
Pretty fucking shitty.
We've all been through the ringer this week for various reasons. But thanks for tuning in. If you saw the title, you know that this episode is going to be a little different.
Yep.
We just thought we were going to give, I guess, our thoughts on
I mean, we felt like we'd be dishonest, or I don't know,
kind of like
giving
our Black and minority community a disservice if we didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
Very true,
I mean,
yes.
everyone knows what's going on with the George Floyd and the rioting, everything going on. You know,
Yep.
has nothing to do with the protest. Like, it's just crazy now.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot to go on. Dive deep.
So, and we kind of talked about it the other night. We were just like, we have our feelings about it.
Yeah.
This is, I mean, this is our platform, so I mean, might as well use it to vent our feelings at the same time, and maybe if anybody's feeling the same way, hopefully at least people know that they're not alone in the situation.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
As well as, like Rob said, to kind of give all our Black and minority brothers and sisters, I guess, a voice, or at least our opinion. Maybe not take their voice. That's not the right way to put it, but
Yeah. No, we're not the voice for them, but we stand with you.
Exactly.
That's for sure.
There you go. Definitely going to be tripping over my words on this one.
It's tough.
It's weird,
just to get that out of the way really quick, because we usually are light-hearted and funnier.
I mean, we talk about some political things, but like in a lighthearted way.
Yeah,
but
definitely more lighthearted.
Yeah, I mean, this one feels like we wouldn't be doing. I feel like I wouldn't be doing a service if we were, like too lighthearted. Because this is not a lighthearted situation.
Not at all.
Yeah, we definitely we didn't want to make too light of the situation. Because very serious situation.
Yeah,
right.
That's going on, and so we didn't want to make too lighthearted of it. I mean, obviously our humor is gonna come through in moments.
For sure. Yeah.
But we definitely wanted to kind of, I guess, take a little more of a somber tone on this episode. So I guess that's your trigger warning.
Yeah.
There you go.
So if you're not into that, please come back for next week's episode. For more dick and fart jokes. But all right, I guess we'll get into it. So I'm sure everybody's aware of the situations that's happened, which is so crazy. Like the George Floyd situation feels like it happened way longer than a week ago.
Yeah.
It feels like months already, man.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't want to dive right into it, but it's because it's been an ongoing issue with police brutality and
because
black
it's not just one issue. Yeah.
It's not just this one issue. It's multiplied, by all the black men that have been died in the hands of police.
Mm-hmm.
Not only black men, but like minorities.
Oh yeah, for sure, minorities.
Black women. I'm sure. Even like our white brothers and sisters have been like. I mean, here locally, we had years back. Kelly Thomas.
Kelly Thomas.
Guy with two names.
Yeah. Two first names.
Yeah.
But that was
the Kelly Thomas situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, we definitely trying to get back on track now.
It's fine. It's gonna be a weird one.
It is a weird one, man.
It's a weird feeling. It's a weird feeling, bro.
Let's get that out of the way, because if we can,
it's awkward.
I feel everybody probably feels that way in general
when they talk about it.
And this might be a really good approach too, because what you guys don't know is we talked about talking about this, and even that talk was like pulling teeth, because we are a certain way and lighthearted and trying to be comedic. And thinking about taking a serious, tone at something or approach just doesn't feel too natural.
I think that's what it is. Yeah. It's not the most natural thing for us.
Yeah.
Like other people maybe are a little more familiar with being serious or having a serious tone.
Yeah.
And we're not.
Right.
But we knew that this is like we said, a serious situation that needs more of a direct approach.
Definitely.
And also
needs to be more voices out there.
Yeah.
And if we can contribute to it, then we have to.
Yeah. We can't stay silent.
There you go. Yeah. That's one of the main reasons is that you can't stay silent. We want to, if in any way, try to better the situation.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, whatever little platform we have, at least try to do some good with it, you
For
know?
sure.
Yeah.
And so for just a quick overview for anybody who didn't know, I'm sure you have to know by now, but last week on Monday, a black male, George Floyd, was
gonna execute it pretty much.
I mean, that's what I like. I
don't want to beat around the bush. He was like fucking.
He was murdered. He was murdered.
He was
by
murdered.
Cops, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the cops,
No
took him
question.
over. They even put in the report saying that he was resisting arrest, which
video came out, shows not.
Yeah,
right.
Clearly not doing that. Three officers plus the main officer had their knees on him and their knees on his neck.
Yeah.
For 9 minutes, I think the count was.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Passed out within the first 5 minutes, and he still had his fucking knee on his neck.
Yes.
For another 4 minutes.
So
that's fucking disgusting. Like, no.
Man.
Dude, you know what broke my heart, like, is hearing him cry, like,
cry for his mama.
For his mom.
What
dude.
the hell?
That's so sad,
like,
man.
When I heard I was listening to NPR and they were kind of playing back the whole tape, and like I had to take a minute while I was at work. Like I had to literally stop and just like it really got to me.
Yeah.
Like, one, because it brought back the memory of like Kelly Thomas, because while he was being beat by the cops, here he was crying out for his dad.
Yeah.
And it's heartbreaking.
It is very heartbreaking, man.
And that's another reason why we knew we had to take more of a serious tone with this episode, because of the emotions it would draw up. But that quickly, I mean, people got obviously heard about this. It was shared. Luckily, it was shared on social media.
Yeah. Luckily, that person was there to videotape that.
Multiple people, right?
Yeah, multiple people. Yeah.
They were like, in the area to kind of get it on film.
Yep.
But yeah, like the whole situation kind of just drum up the emotions of everything that was going on. After that, after it being shared on social media, like quickly, went into protests, right?
Yep.
So people started protesting very quickly. I saw across social media first.
Yeah.
And then you saw,
peacefully.
Yeah. That's one thing too. Like it did start off very peacefully.
Right. Peacefully. Yep.
And not only that, like there were pockets that did stay very peacefully.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that kind of gets lost because, before I get ahead of myself, like, so we went into the protest.
Yeah.
After the protest, they quickly got violent. There's reports from many issues where it was instigated by cops, it was instigated by protesters, instigated by outside people.
Yeah.
Right.
They quickly turned into riots, which quickly led into looting, destruction. We don't need to, I guess, go over the entire thing. I'm sure most people saw the thing. So, I mean, and that like basically happened in what, like 5 days, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it started on Monday, and then by Friday, like we saw the protest.
Yep.
And then this whole weekend, like we were on social media just watching the whole thing unfold.
Watching it go down, and it was heartbreaking.
So that was the thing. Like after seeing basically the situation unfold and the escalation, and what were your guys' like initial reactions?
Dude, it was like a mixed bag of emotions. Like, God, like angry, at the cops, like also like feeling like because I'm human, like angry at the cops, but then also being like knowing like not all cops are bad.
Yeah.
Right.
It's true. Like we know some cops and they're not all bad. Angry at like I don't know, dude. It's weird. It's confusing. It's like
it is very confusing. I felt like I had to. For me, I felt like I had to have an explanation for like my kids too, So,
to kind of give them,
to give them like my feedback, like I had to have some sort of just an explanation of what's going on and why, and
like you're just conflicted, like there are some odd, emotions going on, and you feel so like that you need to have an answer right away. You need to have like your stance. You need to have your what do you call it? Your manifesto written out right away.
Honestly, that's exactly how I felt, man. I wrote so many notes, and all these notes were sometimes conflicting, the conflicting ideas, because I'm thinking about, like you said, I'm thinking about the civilian side of it, and then I'm thinking about the law enforcement side of it. I'm thinking about order and justice and just trying to figure out like where the fuck are we going wrong? like as a community and as a fucking people and our government.
I think that's one thing that really resonated with me when it first happened was like, how does this keep happening? Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
that was like that. I guess that maybe was the main emotion. Like, it's like, especially how blatant murder this was. It's like,
Yeah.
how does this keep happening? Like, where, like, and like, is there any like remedy in the future? Like, it was.
Right.
Like, I guess it was like a feeling of loss. Like
Yeah.
you're feeling this way of like one because
Yeah, it does feel like we're losing, dude.
yeah,
It
like
really does.
Yeah.
because like you feel for like humanity, like you're
Mhm.
like your brothers and sisters out there, and you're just like, oh, like because we're all human,
Yeah.
because that was the one thing like I kind of thought. I was like, man, like loss of a life is a loss of a life. Like I mean,
True.
like what, like it was just like this horrible
Yeah.
feeling,
Yeah.
and that's I just don't want to get too like
Yeah,
because
we'll get into it later, deeper, but yeah.
but do you guys want to take a quick break right now, and then
Yeah,
we'll
for
kind of
sure.
jump back into the rundown of everything?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, cool. We'll be right back. All right. We're back. Just had to take a quick break, kind of gather,
Yeah.
get our gears in order. It was already starting to get a little emotional.
Get our gears and affairs in order.
Yeah. But like we said, it's a different type of podcast on this one, so we feel like I don't know. We feel like Rob said earlier, a little uncomfortable. We're kind of a little out of our area
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we're talking about a serious situation, and we're not the most serious dudes.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna try to figure out how to navigate it, but we will be all
Yeah.
over the place.
Yeah.
Because I think every point that you can bring up on this topic just can lead down any fucking rabbit hole.
Yeah.
and
Sure.
on a huge tangent.
Can lead into like emotions. It can lead into anger. It can lead into
Yes.
like a whole bunch of different.
We might
things.
go there. I
So
don't know.
it
Yeah.
might we might rant, any one of us, and we'll give each other a moment to rant. But we will try to reel us back in as much as possible.
So, back onto the idea of like all the kind of the chain of events that happened.
Mhm.
Like, what is there anything that stood out to you guys? Like, just was like kind of I guess ringing in your ear, like just like that, like because after obviously I think we're all on the same page of like this was blatant murder. We want
Yeah.
charges for the cops. We want convictions. We want we want. I mean, I guess in the grand scheme of things, we want change.
Yeah, the family wants
Right.
it more than us.
Yeah.
and,
Oh,
like,
definitely. Yeah.
They deserve
Yeah.
it. You
Yeah.
know.
They do.
That's one thing I think maybe it should go without saying, but like these are obviously our opinions, and it's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
like
yeah, for
we're
sure.
speaking on the behalf of anybody.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like we're just kind of, and we understand like we're not suffering in the way that anybody else
Yeah,
is in
yeah,
this.
for sure.
But at the
I'm-
same time, we are part, we the human society, so we do
Yeah.
have feelings towards it.
And I think like we've all had our experiences, with the injustices of the law.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's weird because I was thinking to myself, I just had this thought, like I am a Mexican American.
Yeah.
Both my parents are Mexican. My dad's from Mexico. Like, I have seen those things, like the illegal stops, the being in handcuffs myself because I'm
Oh, yeah.
brown and in a car with, my dad, which is a bald, big Mexican.
Mhm.
So I have experienced those things, but I still feel privileged,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
Definitely the
because we
same.
went through, we went through ours. I don't know, but I know my parents were in it more, especially growing up in the '90s in Compton, like going through all that and seeing all that. It's like, but they took me out of it, and here I live in the OC perfectly fine, So I'm like, I feel conflicted. I feel like I have no point to say, but then I feel like I do have a point to say because I experienced both ends of it.
I have a
guess
similar
you'd
feeling
say.
too,
Yeah.
dude.
It's
Yeah.
weird. It's like a
Yeah.
weird feeling because, like, and I don't know. It's fucking weird.
All right. Before we get into too much ranting,
Yeah,
let's kind of let's bring it back, and we kind of wanted to talk about like basically what's actually going on.
yeah.
Got
The-
it.
What's happening now?
Yeah, and our thoughts, and just, I mean, really, this podcast is therapy for us.
Yeah.
I mean,
pretty
really, if we're gonna.
For sure.
So working out ideas, critically thinking about these things.
Yep.
And that's one thing I think to keep in front, like that we are critically thinking about this, and like,
Yeah.
I mean, we're we're totally willing to like hear others' opinions. Like you kind of said
Yeah.
earlier, Ed, we're like when you're talking to somebody, listen to them.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I
Like-
think that gets lost so much. Is like you have your idea, you have your belief system, but then you reject everybody else's. Like
Right.
it's not should not be that way.
Just
We're
because
all-
it doesn't
yeah.
line up right with yours.
I mean, if you
is-
think about it, it's fucking just basic courtesy. You're a human. The other person's a human. You have your opinion. They have their opinion. Listen to each other. You know.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if we could just sit down and talk to each other like we do as friends, and we
Right.
could do that with other people, and think about these things, talk about them without lashing out at each other. I mean, it's just a step closer to being kinder to people.
Absolutely, dude.
And that's at the end of the day, that's what we got to be. We got to listen to each other. We got to talk to each other. Got to fucking rein in our trying to force our beliefs and ideas on people because, I mean, come on, nothing ever works that way.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
History
We're
shows that.
trying to find solutions, and we're completely open to redefining these solutions together,
Yeah.
like together as a group, and then together with you guys too. Anything that I say or that we may say, I feel is always a work in progress. We may say them like as if they are matter of fact, but for most of the part, I'm always like open, especially because you guys say something and I'm like, I wasn't thinking about that. So definitely, I love to keep it creative and a work in progress,
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the thing. It's everything's always open
Yeah.
for discussion.
Yeah.
I think
Except
it's-
for cops shouldn't be killing people.
Oh yeah.
No, that's one
Yeah.
thing.
maybe
for
not
sure.
everything. Maybe not.
Oh,
we'll use
yeah.
the word everything.
Yeah.
But as far as like hearing people's other perspective, you
Yeah.
know,
Yes.
like you always have to be willing to at least hear the other side. Like,
Yeah.
you're right. Maybe even if it was somebody you vehemently disagreed with, you know,
Yeah.
like I think that's a word. I
Yeah.
feel like
Like, hey, dude, this
I'll allow
freaking America, Richard Spencer wants to talk. Let him talk.
yeah.
Dude, you gotta, listen. Doesn't mean you have to believe in what he says. You don't have
True.
to fucking even, it was just talk.
Not only
That's
that, like
it.
if you shut down the line of communications with somebody like somebody even that's a radical or like is wrong. If you
Mhm.
shut down those line of communications, there is no hope of changing that person's mind or changing like the influence they have on somebody
Mhm.
else.
Yep.
And maybe that's not what you want to do. Maybe that's in like if you're a person that like well I don't care about them, like they're hateful and like cool, like that's not for you. But don't shut somebody else down that wants
Yeah.
to open those lines of communication in hopes of changing that person's mind, changing that person's heart. You know,
Right.
I think that's the thing. You know,
Yeah,
with that. With that, I mean that's I think
That's a rant. But
I know.
whatever.
Yeah.
We'll
Let's
try-
jump
let's
into
get
a
it.
little bit of the.
but I think that leads us into like the like because we were obviously we're against the we agree that it was murder, you
Yes.
know, and that
Yes.
we're
Yeah.
I mean pretty much 99% of people are on that topic.
Yeah.
Right.
We all agree, yes, we should be protesting, we should be
Yes.
putting our voices out there for change.
Right.
But where it starts to fall apart, I think, and we would agree, is that where it starts to go into rioting to looting.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And then just before we jump into that, we initially started protesting to get a murder case,
Yeah.
get murder charges on
Yeah.
the officer. So that was the first initial, goal was to get those charges, which we did achieve.
Mhm.
We achieved those charges. It's third-degree murder, which is not as strong as first-degree murder. I think they're still working on that, though.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of debate, and there's a fight for sure. So that's in the works. But he is being charged with murder, which is great. And then I'm just kind of trying to cover some of the things that
Yeah.
we originally were protesting for to kind of figure out like where it fucking went
Yeah.
berserk. You know,
Kind of clear up these muddy waters.
and
Well,
what is
yeah.
everybody expecting? You know, because okay, we're fighting for that. Check, we made it.
Yeah.
You know, and then what? It's just like let's keep protesting
Yeah,
so
I
it doesn't happen again.
Pretty much, yeah. There's got to be some type of legislation or something like that gets going because it has to stop.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It has to stop the unreasonable, stupid killing of black men.
Where do
you
we
know?
think this fucking
In police
what's
custody.
the root though? Like, is it fucking the training? Is it
Dude, that's
like,
a oof.
because
I guess-
someone told me that they're all the cops. There's no testing, to be a cop. Like anybody can become a cop,
Yeah, pretty much.
Regardless of your background.
There's
or
no way
your,
to weed out the bad apples.
Yeah,
the bad
and
apple
that's
argument.
the example that the person told me too. They said there's always going to be bad apples. So they kind of were telling me like, don't try too hard because there's always going to be bad apples that are in charge.
But you know what, dude? That's a cop out.
And I was like, yeah, that was a huge cop out because I'm like, no, we need to outnumber them. It's not trying to get out every single bad apple. There's always going to be someone opposing you, but we just need to fucking outnumber those people.
I love what Chris Rock said about that.
What did he say?
He said like, oh, yeah, there's a couple bad apples, like, oh, bad apples. It's a nice way to put it. He's all, what about pilots? Is there a few bad apples? Yeah, they sometimes land.
Sometimes they crash. Yeah.
It's one of those professions where there cannot be any bad apples.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
Dude, see, and that's where I'm going with this because for me, if you're a police officer or you're working, look, if you're doing anything in that sort with this military, it's a choice,
Yeah.
We're not forced to do this. Some people even grow up wanting to be a person that upholds the law or that serves our country. And I love those people, not for the fact that just because they're doing it, but because it's such a selfless act to at least, because look this is the main point, man. It's putting your life on the line.
Yeah.
Like that's what my point is right here. It's a choice to put your life on the line. It's heroic. It really is.
Yeah.
It's a firefighter running into a burning fucking building every day, you guys. Think about that. People fucking talk about these police officers. It's scary on the streets. I know. I'm not discrediting that. For a fact, I know this. I don't do that for that reason. I'm not brave enough. I'll fucking say it straight up right now. I'm not brave enough to fucking put my life on the line every day. These heroic individuals are. But just as heroic as that firefighter that's running into the burning building, he's not second guessing himself like, oh, wait, no. My life is way more important than to save that fucking person that's in the burning building. They're always running in. They always run in. Like for some reason, the firefighters have like a different focus of heroism than cops do, because if you're trying to like, look, even though you're a criminal, the mentality is completely different. Like if you're a criminal and I'm the police officer right now, and you're reaching in your pocket, like more often than not, you hear someone like shooting first and asking questions later.
Like my life was in danger.
Yeah, their life isn't, but your life is in danger.
That's what you signed up for.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
Or just like the analogy of the firefighter, where like he's running in the burning building. He's never gonna be like, well, my life is in danger, so I can't get up to the 9th floor to save that person.
Yeah, I mean, because you think about it, like 9/11, cops, firemen, like first responders were running into those buildings to pull people out. A lot of good people died.
Absolutely.
A lot of bad people died too. It's just a lot of people died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're hitting on a thing where like I feel a big issue in this thing is cops policing cops.
Yeah.
That's like
yeah.
That's one of my big things is like, okay, like if just how we were talking about, like we need to be open to hearing each other and like listening to one another's opinion. The cops should be on each other's. Like they call them their brothers, their brothers in blue or type thing, or that they call it a brotherhood.
Yeah.
Well, if your brother's messing up, you need to call that brother out. You need to, and I think that's
because they fucking have the object to kill someone with.
Mm-hmm.
They need to be in check.
And the training.
Yeah, they have the
training, everything.
They, whether it be hand-to-hand combat or a gun that just ends someone's life, they need to be in check.
Exactly. And back to the point of what Rob was saying, like they signed up for this.
Yep.
So it's like you can use the argument or the excuse or whatever that, oh, they're just human, type of thing. And a lot of people like to use that argument that cops are human and they make mistakes.
Yeah, we sympathize.
And they 100% are. But at the same time, you signed up for this job.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like the Chris Rock analogy. It's like if there was a bad pilot, it's like he signed up for it, but he's not good enough to be a pilot. Get him out of there.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly like the the same situation with the cops.
Yeah.
And I think obviously the underlining issue is hate and racism.
For sure. We don't want to sidetrack that point because that is
the root cause.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you can't like force someone not to be racist. I wish that was you could just flip a switch and that was the
racism
case.
gone.
Yeah.
But it's not the case, and so until we can figure out ways, I don't know, to root that out and you know, psilocybin, I don't know, something.
Yeah,
But
psilocybin. Oh, God.
Yeah, crop dusting psilocybin
Oh,
particles.
that's what they need to put in those tear gas
Yeah.
cans.
That would be a much better effect.
Yes.
Imagine how the riots would turn out. Sorry, we didn't mean to get
Yeah, we
No,
didn't mean
yeah,
to
it's
get
a little
too.
tangent, but-
I mean, yeah, I think back on like the point of like where this turned chaotic and crazy. It's like,
And see that's the thing too. Like it's right now, I feel at least it's my opinion. I don't know what you guys saying on this. Is that it's hard to nail down because
Yeah.
like we were saying earlier, like there's so much different reporting going on. You know,
Yeah.
you got the CNN report, you got the Fox News report, you got the local news report, you got the
Yeah.
Twitter report. You know, you got other people saying these things, and like there's conflicting things here. Where like some people are saying like, oh, the protesters are turning violent and they're looting and rioting, and other people are saying like, no, those aren't even protesters that are doing it. Those
Yeah.
are like outside, you know, agents that are coming in and starting these things, and you know,
yeah.
They're the ones that are inciting.
And I don't
all
think
of
it's far from the truth
violence.
because, like we said, humans are humans. Some humans are sick
Yeah.
Right.
and they have their cause and they want to hijack another cause.
Yeah.
That's, you know, that's worth its merit. You know, Black Lives Matter is a movement that should be recognized and be protested, and change should be put in place. But then you have these other assholes take it over and
Have their
turn
own
it
agenda,
into
yeah.
have their own agenda, have their own beliefs. You know,
Right.
whether it be super alt-right people or far left Antifa, it's fucking, and it's hard to pinpoint where and who and what, and
It's twisted, man.
Yeah.
And I felt like originally I felt like, okay, I want to like condemn some of these rioters and looters because I'm not for that at all. And then I started realizing what you guys are just saying right now, you know, it wasn't some of our people that were inciting, you know, the looting and the violence and the starting of the rioting. You know, you had these outsiders that were the ones doing this and
Yeah,
starting
it wasn't
everything.
the protesters doing
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because the
so-
protesters and the rioters are two different people.
Right.
Yeah,
yeah,
and I want to make sure everyone knows that. Like,
Yep.
yeah,
That's a big thing I think that we all agree with, and that like the reason why we're against looting, because I know there's been like an attitude going around, well, this is the voice of the people. The voice of the people is rioting, is because
Right.
they're
Yeah.
angry and they're rioting. It's like, no,
It's
the
the only
voice of
way
the
to be heard.
people was protesting,
it was peaceful
It's
protests. Yeah,
peaceful
and they
protesting.
were very vocal about that. Yeah,
and then the looting and the riots came like from majority like instigated from outside things.
Yep.
I'm
Mhm.
sure, yeah, some people maybe
Yeah.
took an opportunity, like you're gonna have those people, but
Yeah.
for the majority, like the looting and the riots is what we do not agree with.
Right.
yeah, for sure.
And mostly too, because that's not even the voice of the people. That's not even
Yeah.
the voice of the protest, you know?
Absolutely. And it's funny because I wrote a note for the first batch of looting and rioting, and this is what I was just talking about right now, but I realized right now looking at it that I can twist it and follow me because I wrote down, this seems like behavior that would lead to new laws passing that would prohibit public assembly, but that might be what
They want.
they want, you
Yeah.
know? So think about that. That's just food for thought. It's just, and this is also like the open forum. Let's all just discuss this and think freely. It's not something that I absolutely I'm confirming, but what if, you know,
Yeah, what
like,
if,
that's
yeah.
a what if, you know, for sure.
This gets into the territory of like the tinfoil hat.
And I didn't
conspiracy
want to
theory
go
thing.
far
Yeah.
into that, but that's just one of those what ifs because we did mention, you know, that some of the violence and some of the rioting was incited by other outsiders that were not part of the original peaceful protesters.
Yeah.
So you
it's
do
like-
have that.
It's like Ed was saying, like it's not far from the truth because there are people with their own agendas that will take any opportunity to push forward whatever they're trying to push, whether
Yeah.
it's to push forward more racism, more hate, to
Yeah.
like push forward whatever narrative they want to
Yeah.
do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that far from the truth to think that people would do this because they want to incite martial law, they want to incite
Yeah.
this type of thing.
Yeah.
So
Which is horrible.
which again gets away from the main
Message.
main message
Yes.
of what's all going on is like
Right.
Black Lives Matter, that we need to stop the wrongful killing of black men, black women,
Right.
minorities in general.
Yeah,
Like that's the main message, and it's getting lost because of
it's
these.
getting convoluted within all these other, organizations hijacking it.
Yeah,
Right. And I know it's tough because, you know, being out there, we might have mentioned it a moment ago where you got most of the peaceful protesters that aren't doing any of the rioting and looting, but then you do get a lot that do get tied up in they fall into it somehow.
Yeah. They get their their emotions, and it's very understandable.
It is very understandable, but
like,
at the same
they're
time,
tired of this shit.
we got to remember there's a fucking a greater goal, and it sucks because it's a thin line, and you cross that line so quick, but it's almost essential to kind of try to stay away from everything illegal,
Yeah. Like,
it's tough, so I can't fucking speak from personal experience.
One thing we don't want to get hurt is like, it's not wrong to be angry.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
You got to be angry.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the emotions. That's what's driving that's what drives some of these people to protest. Because I am angry.
Yeah.
I'm tired of this, so I need to protest. I need to get what Killer Mike said. Get out there and sow them in the ballot box.
Yeah. Beat them up in the ballot box. I love when you said that. Yeah.
So like, it takes anger to do that, and it's not wrong to be angry. It's not wrong to feel angry. It's not wrong to even like want to riot, not want to burn the city down.
Yeah, but that's your city. Like that's like this is what I remember just from my experiences as a child living in Compton when the Rodney King riots were going on. Like after all that was over, Compton was burnt down.
Yeah.
Like and just now, like 5 years ago, did it start prospering. You see all the new buildings coming up. You see like the businesses coming in because they're not scared anymore. Like which they should have never been scared in the first place. But America, but like racism and then it happens all over again. So it's like in my head, I'm like, do people not learn?
To get out of this,
Yeah.
and then that's what sucks too, because I was hearing the same thing where like from the 92 riots, it was like people were just starting to get out of that. Basically, I think they said it took like 30 years, but you started seeing more, Black-owned businesses, more minority-owned businesses, and now like in those neighborhoods, those businesses, your local businesses, are getting burnt down.
Right.
You're setting those. Your own people, your own neighborhood, your own home, your own community is getting set back.
Yeah.
And not everybody has insurance, so don't believe what people are saying.
Yeah, like every business has insurance.
Yeah, that's not true. Some businesses are just surviving, and they're just like a lot of us, which are living paycheck to paycheck. It's just in a different way. They just have a little more freedom because they're doing something that they
had a dream to start
about.
something, and they wanted to do it, and they did it, and then it's gone.
But by no means does that mean that they're financially stable or even better off than you. You can't always assume that. The grass isn't always greener, and that's the truth. I'm sure we've all fucking experienced that.
Yeah.
Even if someone had insurance, like that insurance doesn't replace the 20 years it took you to save to open up that business.
For sure.
Yeah.
Or the
The
labor,
downtime that you're going to be, rebuilding, the couple months it's going to take.
Even if you could come back from it.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, like, don't forget, it's still a pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Business has been shut down.
Affected. Yeah.
That's another thing
to time right now.
Think about, like, look at these businesses. A lot of businesses that were flourishing, they just got shut down for 2 months. And how many of those businesses are going out? Going under now?
Yeah, it sucks. Yeah.
So think about, like, your place got burnt down. You're not opening for 6 months, 8 months.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you're not coming back from that.
Right.
Yeah.
So and it sucks. I read something. Someone, a shop owner, posted, "If my shop gets destroyed tonight, it's all good. No hard feelings. If it brings change, the loss was worth it." But I feel that was more of like a sheltered type of response, because on the other end, you've got a pro skateboarder that owns Pharmacy Board Shop, and he's like, "This business is Black owned. Please leave it alone."
And dude, what people don't understand is the rioters don't care.
No, not at all.
They don't care. They see red and they go. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you're a Black-owned business, a minority-owned business. They don't care because they just see red.
Yeah.
Because there's a difference between the protesters and the rioters and the looters. They're going in there and just destroying everything. Whereas the protesters are actually there for a meaningful cause.
And you can even see it in the protests.
Yes, you can see it. Yeah.
We were talking about it before. Like, you can see, like, there's Black protesters that are standing in front of businesses,
Yes.
like, stopping looters.
Right.
They're saying, like, this is our home, this is our community. No, like, you don't do this. And those are the protesters.
Yeah.
So that should show you where the actual heart of the community is.
Yeah.
I remember seeing this one thing, and just a little sidetrack real quick, but saw this one Black man in there was a fire going on, and he was hitting out all the people that are trying to add to the flame. Like, and he's like, no, he's like, dude, where the fuck do you even live? I live just outside of town. He's like, no, I fucking live in this city. You're burning my city down.
Right.
Like, This is stupid. He's like, go back to where you're going and cause that shit over there.
Yeah, go
Right.
burn your
You know?
own house down.
Yeah. And
But-
that's what's like, ugh.
And see, like, there's so many good stories about like the people banding together to show that
Yes.
the protesters, the true protesters, the ones that really want change, aren't the ones burning the buildings down.
Yeah.
Right.
Like we saw, I think Ed, you showed us sent us the video where like the guy who was like banging out the concrete so he can have rocks to throw.
Yeah.
The community, the group grabbed him,
And
wrestled,
gave him to the
and
cops.
gave him to the cops.
Right.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, take this guy.
Because that's not what they're there for. You
Yeah,
know?
No, yeah. And it sucks because you're building a problem within a problem, and it's now we're protesting, and then we have to protest something else while we're protesting at the same time. Like, because
We gotta look out
That's
for these
what's
people,
happening.
like
Yeah,
hijacking our message to to do their own thing. Nah,
right.
Yeah.
And it's too easy to make this protest look bad.
yes,
Yeah.
that's
It's
what
so
it is.
easy. It's so fucking easy.
The
man.
narrative's gonna change on. It's gonna flip to minorities, to blacks. We're causing this. We're doing this. They're the
Yep.
what fucking. I think it was like. Was it Bush or Clinton that said the alpha predator when that fucking when
Is
that
that
line
what
was
he said?
yes.
Oh,
Well, back in the 90s. That's
Yeah.
when the LA
Yeah.
riots were going on. It's like, what? Like, this is stupid.
Right.
You know, the narrative's going to change and shift, and it's going to look like the Black Lives Matter movement caused all this. And
Right.
it's not. It's
Mhm.
the fucking rioters in there, the looters in there.
Exactly.
And there needs to be a distinction between those two.
Right.
You know, and there is with the positive messages that we're seeing that, of course, the mainstream media is not airing it enough, but of the cop that got separated from his squad, the protesters formed a line around him to protect him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw that one.
Yeah.
Dude,
I
I
did.
love
That was
that.
such a
amazing.
good
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's the thing. I think about a lot of these
Yeah.
great stories. Like
Yeah.
they get me like emotional about it. Like see like because I get so like lost in emotion with a lot of these things. I'm just like, this is what the real protest is.
Yeah.
Look at they're taking care of the cop got lost from his troop.
Mhm.
The community of black men just surrounded him to protect him. You
Yeah.
know, to show like, hey, this is what we're about.
Yeah.
Right.
And that building burning, those cop cars burning. That's not us. That's
No.
not what we're
Yeah.
about.
No.
Yeah.
We're about peace. The message is peace.
Yeah.
Or the police sheriff in Flint, Michigan,
Yeah.
you know,
Amazing.
took off his helmet. He had all his men drop his batons and they marched. He said,
Right.
he pretty much said, I don't want this to be a protest. I want this to be a parade, a celebration.
Yeah.
You know?
It's
Yeah,
like let's
great
go
sentiment.
walk. Let's walk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are the cops in San Jose kneeling,
Mhm.
you know, showing the knee?
Yeah.
It's
It's impactful.
those messages need to be put out there more.
Yeah,
Right.
and maybe that's a responsibility of us, or maybe that's a
Yeah.
responsibility of somebody out there. Like, hey, like what was it? John Krasinski like started some good news thing
Yeah.
to show good news during a pandemic. Maybe somebody needs to do something like that, where
Yeah.
like they're just highlighting all the good things that are coming out of this.
Because
you
there's
know?
enough of the negative. And it just fear mongers and
Right.
shows people and scares people. And it's just like,
Yeah.
It sucks because it's like that old adage. I mean, I've heard it somewhere so many times. It's like it was talking about like the press, where like if it bleeds, it leads.
yeah.
The idea where like destruction, chaos, negativity sells more, so that's why it gets pushed,
Yeah.
Right.
and
Yeah.
which sucks. And it like you're right, it changes the narrative of why this is going on anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
So
So with all that being said, it's obvious that we don't have all of the definitive answers, but some of the things that we feel may help, which sounds very cliche because people have been saying this forever, man, but it's getting out there and voting.
Yeah.
Especially for all of the people that are not going to step outside their house and protest. Voting. That's exactly the way that you can help. You can definitely contribute.
Or contribute, donate, to these
Yeah,
causes.
donating for sure. But if you want to be, silent, you want to do something in the background where no one really knows how you feel, vote. But definitely vote for the positive.
We want to tell you
I
how
don't want
to
that to
vote.
make, I don't know. Yeah, that kind of sounded,
But
gray.
I'm sure everybody wants to
but-
see change. I don't know. It's like the optimistic in me, I guess. It wants to say,
I feel that same way.
I'm
too.
hoping,
I
like
feel
all you guys out there want to see something change.
I felt like
you know?
a given,
Yeah.
like we want to see
Yeah.
positive change. So let's get out there and vote.
Yeah.
We definitely, definitely as a community, like, nationwide community, we're changing. I think this is, it's horrible right now. That's obvious, but I think as mankind, as we're growing, in some sense, we are getting a little better.
I think so. I think I'm on the positive
Yeah.
train with that.
Yeah.
Like when we came in, like I was starting to, because we were listening. I mean, we were hearing all the news that was going on,
Yeah.
and like coming into this, I was like, trying to think of like, okay, where's it going forward from here?
Yeah.
And like, I honestly had the feeling of like, well, I like seeing everybody talk about like the positivity, like talk about like denouncing the riots, denouncing the looting,
Mhm.
but promoting the protesting, promoting the message, promoting
Yeah.
the truth behind it.
Yep.
Like I felt like encouraged in a sense. I was like, I can, because a lot of people, are talking about, oh, it's gonna get worse. You're gonna get martial law. It's like, yeah, that's a possibility, but
Sure.
I
Yeah.
like to look at the positive and said like, I think it's gonna get better. Like I think people are gonna see so much of this and like they're gonna see the truth behind it. They're gonna like maybe that is the optimistic in me,
Yeah.
or at least I'm
Yeah.
trying to be optimistic about it. But I think I want to lean that way.
Yeah.
Like regardless if that becomes a reality, like I want to lean that way in the sense of like that I believe that like we can band together, and make actual positive change.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the optimistic in me too. I feel that same way. And as we grow, as a nation, what we're now getting more than ever is a lot more minority representation. And as we keep growing, we're going to get more of that.
Yeah.
And that's really what's going to allow us to change things. Right now, there's a lot of old
Changing of the
power.
guard going
There's a
on,
lot of
yeah.
old power,
Yeah.
that's still in power. And you guys can see things changing already because TV's changed,
Yeah.
radio has changed. A lot of things have changed for the better and became a little more free the way we intended it and expect it to be. And that's because it's the changing of the guard.
Mhm.
You're
Yeah.
absolutely right.
I mean, I think Will Smith said it is like, racism is not getting worse. It's just getting filmed.
Yeah. Yes.
And that's the thing. You got this right
Yeah.
here in front of you.
it's power.
Power. Film it. These
Yeah.
people thinking they're doing shit, like, they're going to get away with it. They're
Sneaky. No.
not.
It's
No.
time to pull the cover
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, I think I like the it reminds me of the what's the MLK quote where he's like, let us realize the arc of moral universe is the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice.
There you
Justice.
go.
So like, well, we don't see it in the present. We got to realize that all these little baby steps that we're taking is bending the moral arc to justice.
Nice.
And it's hard to see it. It's really hard.
Yeah,
to see
it's hard to see it when it's happening right
Yeah.
now, like all the bad shit.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's even hard to say it because
Oh, yeah.
like you're just like, I don't see it. I don't like maybe I don't even believe it really, but
Yeah.
like it's one of those things where you're just kind of like that mantra you just like, I have to, like, that's the thing you have to hold on to,
Mhm.
But so I think
I think it's good.
I think it's good for this episode.
Yeah.
I'm sure we put our foot in our mouth many times, but
Yeah.
like everybody else, we're learning, we're going along with this. We want to see change, and we're going to continue to like we want to further the conversation,
Yeah.
We don't
Yep.
want to put like, I don't know, barriers. We don't want to stop, the conversation from moving forward.
Not at all. Yeah, we definitely wanted to be part of the voice, and it's our commitment to the community, man.
I mean, it's probably as little as we probably do. I mean,
Yeah,
all
for
we-
sure.
we're talking about it, but I mean, we want to take steps towards the right direction, And
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
felt like this was we felt like it was part of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, you said wanted to.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know the pain that, the Floyd family is feeling. But I mean, the least we could do is end with a moment of silence, you
Yeah.
know?
Yep.
So I want to do that for them starting now.
So we just want to thank you guys for joining us today. It was out of the comfort zone for us.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But much like a lot of the conversations that need to happen right now, they're probably going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But they need to happen.
Mhm.
And like, I don't know, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Just talk to each other, listen. God, love one another.
yeah.
Love. Yeah.
It sounds
It's very
cliche to
super
say.
cliche, but
Does, but
yeah.
if you try, keep trying.
Please,
Yeah.
please. That's what.
And that's all it is. It's literally keep trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. I mean, that's something I have to constantly remind myself. It's trying. It's not just the thought. It's just trying. No matter what happens.
Yeah.
Failure is fucking inevitable. It's not about the failure. It's just trying. Keep trying.
yeah, because I think you're right.
Don't be discouraged.
If you you only fail when you stop trying.
That's
I
it.
think that's what it is. So
Yeah.
I mean, go out there, love one another, learn from one another to learn how to love one another better,
Right.
and just continue to repeat the steps. You know,
Right.
like I mean, well, this is a mantra for ourselves too. Like we're on no high horse.
Oh,
We're
for
not
sure.
preaching or anything
No.
like that. This is, if anything, this is speaking for us.
Yeah.
So
Speaking to ourselves.
to ourselves. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. It's a great way to say it.
But with that, I mean, I hope this episode was, you know, something of value to you guys. At least it was for us. I
Yeah,
mean, if
for sure.
anything.
Yeah.
So with that, we'll close it out. And I mean, be safe out there.
Yes. If you're gonna go protesting, just be safe.
Yeah, let your
Yeah.
voice be heard, but please do it in a peaceful, loving manner. Stay safe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Yes.
Later.
Peace.